What is up, people? If you have just stumbled across this video, my name is Tristan, and I thought I'd make a little video out here today talking about something I come out here every single morning to do, and that is meditate. I stand on the border of the shadows and the light on my lawn here, and I literally just stand like a tree. The type of meditation that I've been doing for about the past 4 months, pretty much every day, is Gong, which translates to standing like a tree, I believe. Now there's various types of meditation, but I'm going to talk about what I've gotten from the meditations I have done in my first-hand experience. Now, alongside meditation, I've also been doing a lot of yoga in the past 4 months too. And yoga is a form of meditation. It's more of an active meditation. That's my house behind me. You know, throughout our day, we come into contact with all sorts of stimuli. Now, if we do something that we love, say with our work, oftentimes it's positive, but that's a positive stimuli. It's something that you get up every day to do and you're excited. But for a lot of people, particularly who have a lot of stress or maybe anxiety, they don't get up and do something that they love to do every day. And regardless of if you do or not, it's just a part of life that we come into things that resonate with us in not always positive ways. Certain people just don't vibe with us. They come from a different place, and oftentimes it can really stir us up in negative ways. Now, meditation is certainly, when it comes to all the things that work to mitigate stress and anxiety, it is one of the most effective I have found. Now, the point is not to start meditating and then getting to live a life where you don't experience these stressors of angst, but rather you still do experience all these things that cause the same anxieties, the same stresses, the same whatever, but you are so much more grounded in what you are as a whole on a deeper level that it's not a big deal at all. And think about anxiety, it's sort of like a feedback loop. So the more anxiety there is, the more anxiety there is, the more anxiety there is, and so on and so forth, until you face it head on and try to deal with it and learn how you can overcome it for yourself. Now, why does just standing silently for about 30 minutes a day, why does that help with anxiety? It's not like you just wake up in the morning and you have something stressful on your mind and then you go on to stand out in nature silently, then that kind of works like a medication, so that when you're finished with your meditation session, all the stresses are gone. The first 2 weeks that you start meditating is basically like a chore, because it has not become a habit yet, and you have not really experienced the positive benefits of it yet. The benefits from meditation arise from dedicated practice, and I am just at the beginning of my journey in experiencing what meditation has to offer, and I'm looking forward to continuing exploring what it has to offer. But what I have found is that when you just come out here, or when I just come out here and stand silently and breathe, without discrimination, I am just aware of myself entirely, from everything, every part of myself, from the thoughts I'm having, the thoughts I've had that resurface, to the physical feelings in my body, to the sounds around me. And then once you do this enough, and you do it every day, it's like you constantly revisit and reiterate what you stand for. And literally, since I'm doing standing meditation, the question arises, what do I stand for? And while meditation is not an intellectual process of diving into these questions, you can have certain mantras that you sort of just repeat, or that come up. And so, in more of a spontaneous, intuitive way, answers can arise to these. So, for me, what I found is, now this might get a bit metaphysical, but I am light. That bright fucking thing behind me, that's sort of like my divine father, and this thing I stand on, the earth, is my divine mother. And they came together and created this whole sort of experience that we're having here on planet Earth. And before I ever had the ability to think or even be, this thing had been going and creating for time, or since time immemorial, and it gave birth to me at some point. So if I just kind of acquiesce to what I am at my core, which is just life, anything that is life affirming, I feel that's what comes out in meditation. Because all these things, like stress and depression, oftentimes they are life negating. They make us ask questions like, what's the point? If you get really low, you can get really, really negative and life negating. And the problem is, when we try to solve these things with our mind, it's like using the same tool to solve a problem that created the problem in the first place. Now, reading books and coming to certain intellectual understandings can certainly help in overcoming these things, but when you get back to the core of what you are and what you stand for and why you wake up every day and live this life, then it goes so much more deep than an intellectual anxiety about some little thing that happens in your day that might stress you out. No, it's like, say something happens with an encounter with someone, or you're driving and someone is being a dick in traffic. It's almost like a little psychological twitch, and instead of stressing about it or worrying, you just notice it and you act in whatever way is effective. And if there is no apparent way to act that comes apparent immediately, then you don't. And that's a big thing about meditation too, is that you think, you use thoughts, you employ your mind when it is productive to do so. You eat when it is productive to do so, when you need sustenance. You exercise your body when it's productive to do so once a day and you need it. But you don't do any of these things to the point where they start hurting you and become life negating, which a lot of us do. There's a lot of people who kill themselves in the gym, and they think because they're physically hurting, no pain, no gain, then they're really doing this thing called exercise, but their diet may be lacking to the point where they're just physically degenerating, or someone might be thinking to the point where they're bringing themselves onto like a mild psychosis where they're extremely anxiety ridden and they're stuck in existential crises. It's about getting enough, but not too much, not too little. Finding whatever serves you, and standing and becoming what you are. Now, I hope I pretty much got to everything, I think. But these videos always turn out to be way longer. So if I didn't get to everything by now, I don't know what the fuck I've been talking about. So, yeah, if you have any experience with meditation, let me know what it's been doing for you. If you feel like you've gotten the same benefits, or anything I've said resonates with you, or just tell me what you've gotten from meditation. It's certainly been a positive thing in my life. It brought me from this place of physical sickness, literally, that also had to do with more mental anxiety. I became sick in body, and then mind and body can't really be separated, so the anxiety came from that. And then that's when I started meditating, because I was sick of doctors not doing anything for me. I knew I needed to start doing something to help myself. So, with that being said, I bid you farewell.